transport General McRae steaming into New York Harbor are 1,100 veterans of the 45th Thunderbird Division, heroes of Korea's bloody Heartbreak Ridge and Old Baldy. On the pier, loved ones strain for a glimpse of fighting men who helped halt Red aggression halfway around the world. Home are the soldiers, home from the war. Months of loneliness and anxiety crumble into memory in a breathless instant of embrace and reunion. In scenes charged with excitement and emotion, parents have sons, children their fathers again. Tears and silent thanksgiving blend with joy and jubilation on a crowded city pier, writing a happy ending to the careers of 1,100 men of battle. Corporal Edward Dickerson, accused of betraying his fellow prisoners of war in Korea, goes on trial in Washington. The 22-year-old former POW who first embraced and then rejected communism as a prisoner is charged by Army prosecutors with collaborating with his Red captors and informing them of escape plots to receive favored treatment for himself. Now, the day of reckoning for Edward Dickerson. Egypt's ailing Mohammed Naguib is ousted as premier as another bloodless coup shakes the turbulent land of the Nile. Cairo crowds hail the news that Colonel Gamal Nasser, the country's behind-the-scenes strongman, has been named by the Revolutionary Council to succeed to the premiership. Naguib, confined to his bed by a nervous collapse, remains as merely a figurehead president, emerging as absolute ruler out of the intrigue of Egyptian politics. Clever, determined Gamal Nasser. Tired, hopelessly outnumbered, but grimly determined, the heroic defenders of DIENBIENPHU cling to their jungle fortress, mapping counterattacks in these latest films received from Indochina. Surrounded by mountains, jungle, and the screaming Viet Minh rebels who throw themselves forward in suicide human sea assaults, the French blast back. Striking out from the shrinking garrison, the Legionnaires retake strategic outposts, only to see the Reds, by sheer weight of numbers, overrun the positions again. Grimy, sweat-soaked jungle fighters in a pocket of no retreat carry on their struggle to the death at DIENBIENPHU.
The Christian world celebrates the resurrection of Christ. In Hollywood Bowl, thousands gather before the cross at dawn, despite a dense fog that hides the sunrise and cloaks the service in a gray mist. The weather is perfect at Yosemite Valley, California, where the rising sun casts a benediction on mighty Yosemite Falls. Here in nature's cathedral, 3/5 of a mile above sea level, worshipers hail the Easter morn. Across the nation, other worshipers gather at Arlington National Cemetery for another sunrise service. A cross of lilies dominates the amphitheater for the service, sponsored by the Grand Encampment of Knights Templar. Solemnly, the devout throng repeats the Apostles' Creed, I believe in God. To St. Peter's Square at the Vatican come 100,000 pilgrims to hear Pope Pius XII's Easter message. Cheers greet the recently ill 78-year-old pontiff. He calls upon the world to ban atomic, biological, and chemical warfare. Then the Pope imparts his blessing to Rome and the world. On Fifth Avenue, New York is holding its biggest Easter parade ever. St. Patrick's Cathedral appears as a cross from our high spot above the street, the only place on Fifth Avenue that isn't crowded today. It's perfect spring weather, with just enough breeze to cool the paraders, who could parade more easily if there weren't so many on parade. The colorful Easter bonnet has plenty of frills upon it. A privileged parader gets taxi service as 1.5 million New Yorkers join the Easter parade on Fifth Avenue.
A couple of weekend golfers test the rugged Augusta National Course. Dwight Eisenhower, a president by trade, belts a beauty far down the fairway. Following suit is Ike's partner, Billy Joe Pathe, a lumber dealer and amateur star of the recent Masters tournament at Augusta. A birdie putt, so the president asks some advice. The cameramen are ready, Ike's ready, and sure enough, in the cup. Congratulations, Mr. President. In Detroit, the Red Wings and the Montreal Canadiens face off before a record crowd in the 7th and deciding game of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Detroit has won the league championship 6 straight years, but the Canadiens are defending Stanley Cup champions. The Wings control the action in the opening minutes. Wing forward Marcel Tronovo's shot is blocked in a wild goal-mouth melee. The Canadiens draw first blood, and the desperate Detroit sextet swarms into Montreal territory in an attempt to knot the score. Suddenly, the crowd sees the Wings' Red Kelly connect on a low bullet. It's 1-1, and jubilant teammates smother the star defenseman. In overtime, still tied, Detroit attacks. The fans go wild as Tony Leswick fires home the winning goal. Bedlam breaks loose as the Red Wings take the Stanley Cup.